Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Real Deal. Today, we're going to talk about all these politicians, the career politicians that are out and about going around the country and they're campaigning for the people they want in office, as far as state senators and congressmen from other states that are not even close to their state. And they're out there being phony, being them typical selves. And like I always say, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a middle of the road person that can think for himself and make his own decisions. When I vote for somebody, I research everything they stand for. I research their past. I research who's funding them. And then if I see some things that raise red flags, I wonder why. Why is this person supporting them? What do they want? And right now, I saw AOC, who, I'll be honest with you, she's dumb as a brick. I have flushed things down the toilet that have come out of my butt that are smarter than her. How did she go from a bartender to a political power? They're actually talking about putting her on the presidential ticket in 2028 for the Democratic Party. The big party thing that they're going for is Harris and AOC, and Harris is making the rounds again, speaking out, doing her thing, and they're talking about making that a ticket. And here's the thing. If you don't vote for them, they'll have two things they can cry about. They'll say you're a racist because they're people of color, and they'll say you're a misogynist, that you hate women because you're not supporting them because they're female. Now, I look at it this way. What kind of a world do we live in where I can only hate a man or dislike somebody, I should say, that is the same color as me? Where does it say I can only dislike somebody that is the same sex as me, or the same religion as me, or the same sports team as me? I can't dislike others for the fact that they suck? Because that's what they cry out all the time, that you just don't like him because he's black. No, I don't like them because they are dumbasses. They are nothing but paid puppets and shills. I don't care if they're green. If they're doing a great job, you've got my vote, dude. I might question where you're from being green, but hey, if you say the right things, that's what gets people to vote for you. Unfortunately, many people are brainwashed puppets, and I say this all the time. It has never, ever been easier to brainwash the masses, the asses, than it is now in today's day and age. And most people will vote party line, not realizing that they could be voting for a terrorist. The Plattner guy that was running up in Maine with the guy with the Nazi tattoo, and he knew what he was doing when he got that tattoo. He knew what it was. And then he got it covered up with something stupid. And he's like, oh, no, I'm not a Nazi. I didn't know what it was. And his party supported him. No problem. Come on, Mr. Plattner. They were all into it. Then they found out a bunch of sexual assaults and stuff, which I'm actually shocked that they didn't say, that's okay, we all do it. Right, Bill? That's right. Hey, have a cigar. Come here, Monica. Bill Clinton, what a schmuck. Bit off Juanita Broderick's lip practically, having an affair with his wife, and said, you might want to put some ice on that. But hey, that's okay. Paid off this one chick, paid off Jennifer $850,000. Where do you get the money? Probably from us. These politicians go in with, well, most of them come from privilege, but they end up being rich in a few years. So as I was saying, old dumb AOC, and she's so dumb she can't even spell AOC. Have you ever seen some of the things she talks about? This chick is an idiot. I'm like, dude, and the only reason she got that job is because she kept her mouth open, if you know what I mean, and not saying things. And that's how she got that job. That's how a lot of these people get jobs. I know people that are in management positions in the United States of America, And I'm not going to dog out any other country because that might be their way. I'm not, but in the U.S. of A., I know people that have gotten into management positions from laying on their backs, spreading those legs. That's it. They're dumb as bricks. They don't deserve it, but now they're making $100,000 a year, if not more. For doing what? Because they knew how to get in with the right person and do something nasty to get there. There's a lot of people that do that. I know some people that are like, they have jobs they shouldn't have. And I look at them, it's like, you need to remember how to breathe, man. We got to write it down for you. How can you do the job you have? And then it hits you when you hear things or you talk to the person that did it. We know things. We see things. We're not stupid. And that's the problem. Everybody at the top thinks we're stupid. People, we're not stupid. And I'm not going to let you be stupid. I'm going to help you be smart. I am here to open your eyes like always. AOC, like I said, we all know how she got that job. I'm a bartender. I'll have a Jack and Coke. What's in that? I mean, come on, man. I'm sure that's how it was. It's like, this is a Pepsi and water. She's dumb as a brick, man. But anyway, she was down in Tennessee the other day campaigning. And she's down there, she's going around the country campaigning for these people. And I'm sure we're paying for it, the taxpayers. And she started off going, and Lord, and this and that, AOC is not black. And not all black people talk that way. Not all people sound like the negative stereotypes you would hear from the old movies or back in the day when Mammy was in Gone with the Wind. By the way, Democrats like to brag and the leftists. And the reason I attack them is because they're the worst. They are the worst political party there ever has been, and they are the worst now. I don't like them. I can't trust them. They're bad. When you know things, you know things. History will show it, and nothing's changed for them, except they've tokenized a little bit. They're bringing in people of color just to get votes, people. But anyway, they say, oh, we were way ahead of the time. George Clooney was saying this too. What a schmuck. He was like, we gave Mammy an award in Hollywood when blacks weren't allowed to do this or that. And I'm like, you gave the lady, Hattie McDaniel, the lady that played played in the stereotype of Madam, in Gone with the Wind. You gave her an award for playing a very negative black stereotype. You're proud of that? You're proud of that? And here's the kicker, too. Hattie McDaniel couldn't come through the front door. She had to go through the servants' entrance. So don't act like you're all better and high and mighty, Hollywood and freaking left-wing nut jobs, man. You're not. You're not better than anybody. You're privileged and you're ignorant. You're very ignorant, man. That's what we have in this country. You have people running the show that are just plain dumb. But they know how to get elected. They're not too dumb. They know how to keep that power, like Bernie Sanders. Here's another one. He's out there going around going, Bernie Sanders. Am I still alive? Oh, yes, I'm still alive. So I'll talk. This is a guy that came from prison. I wish. Came from privilege. Been in politics forever. He started out as the mayor in 1981 of Burlington, Vermont. And then he became a House of Representative, a congressman. And then he became senator. So he's been in politics for, let's do some math here, 45 years. 45 years he's been in politics. And what's his net worth? Well, we don't know because these people don't tell the truth. But we'll never know the truth about their net worth. They say on the internet he's worth about $3 million. And he owns 3 fancy homes, mansions. Let's just call them what they are. No, I'm not buying that. What's he make, $174,000 a year, something like that? Been doing this almost 50 years? No, I'm not buying that crap. He is a shyster. I remember when he ran for president and he raised the most campaign contributions ever. He raised about $220 million. Now, I don't know if you know much about campaign contributions, but Now, if you don't win and you know you're not spending all that money, you don't give it back. You don't write these people back and say, here's your $100. Thanks for voting for me. No, not at all. You don't do that. You keep it. And that's what these bums do. And I don't know if you know much about lobbying. When it comes to lobbying, you have to pay to see these politicians. They don't let you just come in there for free. You got to give a little something. Usually it's campaign contributions. They're all crooks. Not all of them, because some of them actually care about the people. But I will say a majority of them are nothing but freaking crooks. And that's been going on for a long time. Now, AOC and old Bernie Sanders, AOC and old Bernie on the road again. And they were in Detroit, Michigan. And they were down in Detroit, in the city, not in the suburbs. And they're campaigning for Abdul Sayeed. Anyway, don't get me started on that schlub. But anyway, they're down there and they're talking. And Detroit is the blackest city in America. There are more black folks there that live in the USA than anywhere else. It's about 80% black, 80% black community. Yet what I saw down there was 99% white people there. On the stage behind Bernie and AOC, I can't stand her. She's so, they have very negative attitudes. They don't have good energy. They are very negative energy. I don't like them. Seeing them, go away. Anyway, and I'm sure they don't like me because I got positive energy and I tell it like it is. They don't like that. They like liars and puppets like them. So they're down there and they're talking about Abdul and stuff. I didn't see any Arabic people. I didn't see any Middle Eastern people, maybe one or two. And I saw it was a 99% white community in there. It was the crowd. And I'm looking around. I'm like, 99% white in an 80% black town. What's going on here? I think that's a little weird. Everybody was coming from the suburbs down there. And you know why? Because the black folks don't give a damn. They're out there trying to work and make some money and hustle because that city of Detroit has gone to hell in a handbasket. It is really bad down there. It's horrible. And it's very sad. And that's because of the Michigan government. Gretchen Whitmer and all her little puppets, they've done nothing for this state. They have ruined it. It's almost like if I took over something, if I do something, and I'm like, hey, we're 30 in education. I want to be number one. I'm going to do what we can to get up there. And I might not make it to number one out of the states. They might say, hey, Michigan went from 33 to 15. All right, I'm going to be proud of that. Hey, 15, let's keep going, baby. But now it's dropped. It's like 43rd in the nation. It's horrible. You got people can't read and write. It's what? How do you graduate from high school? You can't read and write. You can't write cursive. There are schools where they're taking the analog clocks out. Everything is digital because people don't know how to tell time. I'm like, this is where the world is going. This is where the United States is going. This is where the state of Michigan is going. These are true facts, people. And then they've spent about between Abdul Sayeed, this is the primary. This isn't the main election, which the primary is August 4th in the state of Michigan. The main election comes up in the fall. This is just the primary. They've spent about $60 million. All these different organizations, and you can track. We have the right to follow that stuff. And I look at some of these organizations, I'm like, holy crap. Might as well put a swastika on some of them. Anyway, you got Haley Stevens running against Sayeed. She's ahead by about 7 points. And then you have to wonder, why do they want Abdul in there? I mean, he's nothing but a lying puppet. He's done nothing. He's got a medical degree, never practiced. And then they released his taxes the other day. Freedom of Information Act. He's got last year worth about $700,000. Well, some of that was his wife. Sure, whatever you say. He didn't hardly work, but he made $677,000. I rolled it up a little bit to $700,000. What the heck? That's just what we know of. So how's he make all this money? And why do these politicians want him in there so bad? At the same time, you've got Haley Stevens, who is already a politician, and I'm looking at the group supporting her. I'm looking at the people that are supporting her. And there you have old Barack Obama. Don't get me started on old Barry and Michael. Barack Obama never gave a true birth certificate. Now, I know you'll say conspiracy theorist. A lot of people say that, and it's like, yes, it was. No. Some of us are very good with computers, and the one he gave was totally Photoshopped. It was easy to pick apart. Took maybe 3 to 5 minutes to show that it wasn't. The guy's a liar. He went by different names. He claimed to be from Hawaii. No, I was born in Hawaii. No, you weren't. His brother, half-brother, said, no, he was born here in Africa. And many other people, family members said, yes, he's from Africa. Then he was in Indonesia. So he wasn't even American. He shouldn't be elected president. Shouldn't have been. He was put in there to divide this great nation. And I'm telling it like it is. You can turn me off. You can hate me for this. I'm telling the truth. He was put in there to divide this nation. And that's what he's doing now. Now, he came out the other day and was talked about Haley Stevens. She helped him when he was president. Well, that's not going to get any votes for me. Especially, like I said, about Detroit. If I'm a black person in Detroit, I'm not voting for him. Now, a lot of people voted for him because he was black. And if you didn't like him, they'd say you were a racist because he was black. Had nothing to do with that. I didn't like what he did to my country. So did many others. They were the same way. And after he was in there for one term, black folks realized he didn't give a damn about American black folks. All he cared about was himself. And he was going on the other day talking about how Haley Stevens has helped him before, and she's really helped rebuild Michigan, especially the auto industry. Okay, Barry. All right, you go hold Michael's hand while I tell you this. I'm sorry, Michelle. I got to watch myself. Look what they did to Joan Rivers. Barry, America's hurting. The United States is hurting. And Michigan is hurting with the auto industry. Flint, Michigan was home to the world's largest auto plant. It was huge. Went from one side of the city all the way up to the north side, way past Pearson Road. I mean, it was huge. They did it all right then and there. 100% American-made cars. Even the parts coming in there were made in smaller factories in the area. They went right up there, went up to Flint Town. They built more cars than Detroit. They're the real motor city. Not anymore. It's home to the world's largest abandoned lot. You can look that up. Where Buick City used to be is an abandoned lot. It's horrible. All these little companies went under when they went under. Why did that happen? Because Barack Obama opened up the trade to foreign countries. He let them start building the plants here, let them start importing the cars without all the high taxes and tariffs. And the funny thing is, when we put our cars overseas, we have to pay high taxes and tariffs, so it's hard to compete. And these other countries, they won't let us build car factories there. A few years back, General Motors said, hey, Japan, we want to build a plant there. It'll save us some money. Like, no, it'll hurt our economy. Really? What about you're hurting my economy? Richard Nixon opened it up to Toyota back in the 70s, early 70s. He kind of laid the groundwork, and others piled on and said, sure, no problem. Well, it's creating jobs. Well, what would happen if they had to pay a lot more money on those cars? Maybe the jobs that were already here would still be here. Maybe we'd have to build more American car factories, and we'd be building American cars here and able to compete with them instead of just letting them come in here and take our jobs. They took our jobs, and they did. And Barry Obama was a great divider of this country. He come in there, he's bragging about Stevens doing this and that. I'm like, you're going to brag about that? She's horrible, people. Let me tell you something about Barry. He came into office and said he was going to end all the wars. He didn't. He escalated them. Going to cut the deficit in half. Oh, he didn't. He doubled it in 1 year. Everything he said he was going to do helped the black economy. No, it was the worst ever. In 2012, he came out and said, no, I saved Detroit. Okay. Well, back then, I don't know if you remember this, Detroit declared bankruptcy. One of the only cities in the United States to ever declare bankruptcy. They have more abandoned buildings there and houses than just about any other city in America. I've been there. I've viewed it. I see them all. I see the desperate and the homeless people. I see the shell of a great city, and I say, if this is how he fixes something, I want to see how he's going to destroy something. And then it hit me, oh, wait, yeah, back then, yeah, I'm watching him destroy America every day. This guy complained. Everybody complained when George W. Bush went golfing. So he quit golfing. But it's okay for certain people to do things, man. He would play golf 10 times in a couple of weeks. You're supposed to be running the country, just like AOC and Bernie and all these other politicians. Why are they going around the country trying to get other people elected? Get your butt back to Washington and run this country. Get it on track. Start getting some good jobs for my brothers and sisters and make housing affordable. I walk past homeless people every day. Do they choose to be homeless? Some do. Most of these people can't afford a house. They can't afford the rates. They can't afford the rents. Obama, he made that worse. Oh, it was bad. So while he was there, he always say things, and he'd tell lies, and the media covered for it. Job claims went up. And they asked him, I remember one time they asked old Dumbo about his job councils, why it hasn't met in 6 months. And his White House press secretary, his name was Jay Carney. Oh, well, now, he has a lot on his plate. And in that same period of time, he attended 106 fundraisers for himself. Why does he need money? He's a rich politician. Now, I got rich off of my book. Nobody's ever read your book. Oh, and Joe Biden's got a book coming out. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I won't read it. And I wonder who wrote it, because he can't write. But they said he had a lot on his plates. So, and he made all these promises. He said he was going to give a stimulus out and have unemployment was going to be 5%, going to cut it in half. Well, it went up to 8%, like nothing. Deficit, he said, was going to cut in half. 5 times higher in just a couple years. 5 times higher than it was ever projected to be. Said he was going to buy those. I'm going to build a strong middle class, higher than projected. I'm going to do this. Yeah, well, household income really dropped under him. And he said he was going to put people out of poverty, going to help the poor. They had more people on food stamps than ever before. More people on the poverty rate than ever before while he was president. Yeah, he's going to go around and tell others how to vote. He's going to tell people to come out here and tell you, I vote for Haley Stevens. Oh, she did a lot for me. Really? I'm sick of these freaking politicians. I can't stand these bastards, man. They're all a bunch of liars. And then I remember when he came out with his new slogan, and it was forward, and I swear it looked like something straight out of the Nazis, man. It was like, I just, remember, and he also remember when he said, you didn't build that? Yeah, they did. Yeah, people built that. And he gave a speech one time with the you didn't build that thing. And that speech was straight out of the Socialist Bible. They have their own little, it's not a Bible. Bible means book. So I guess it is. These guys are all corrupt people. Barack Obama was a freshman senator. He did absolutely nothing. Came out of nowhere, became a senator. When he went to college, nobody in his degree in his field ever remember seeing him there. Nobody saw him. Nobody knew him. Where was he? He wasn't there, people. These people are liars. He was put there to do what his job was to do. And that was to divide this country, destroy this country, and open it up to more career politicians and the puppets. And y'all need to start waking the F up, people. I'm serious. Because we have nothing but puppets in there right now. And you think You think Trump runs the world? They call him the leader of the free world, the American president. No. Do you think Joe Biden was actually president? I wonder if he wrote his book with his auto pen. Anyway, you think he was president? No. People were pulling his strings. And there are people at the top that we don't know, we'll never see. The high echelon up there, the corporations. They're the ones pulling the strings. They're the ones throwing the money out there. People like George Soros. Then there's people above him that we'll never know because they won't let us know them. People, it's time to wake up. When you go in and vote, don't vote for a political party. Research the people you're voting for. My country is screwed up bad. I see so much racism and discrimination and prejudice and hate on a freaking daily basis. I see everybody fighting each other on social media, in stores. I'll see somebody saying, oh, I don't like their shirt, and they'll complain about it in a grocery store. So what? I don't like your face, but you don't have to cover it. I don't like the fact that you're driving a foreign-made car and that money's going overseas to people that compete against my brothers and sisters in the auto industry. I don't like the fact you're using another company instead of where I work, but you have the right to do that. And that's what America was supposedly founded on. It took a while to get there, but it was supposed to be about freedom. Freedom, people. We have freedom. It's not that hard to be a good person in this world with freedom. Do what you want, but don't hurt others. There's no reason for it. Open your freaking eyes, people. Use your mind. Use your mind that the Creator gave you. Think for yourself. And I see people posting things all the time, and I'm like, wow, that is so wrong. That is so off, and it takes 2 minutes to research it. But they don't. Or they research to get what they're looking for, what they already believe in. If I believe in something and that person comes up to me and says, I never said that, I never did that. Okay, I'm going to believe you. We had a girl one time I worked with. She would not admit that Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. She would not admit that he had been with a lot of his slaves and had sex with them and had kids from them. We showed her the proof. She wouldn't believe it. Thomas Jefferson himself could have come in there and said, yeah, I nailed all those chicks, man. I got 40 kids you don't know about. I nailed all those slaves. She wouldn't believe it. That's the kind of people and the kind of world we're living in. People won't believe or listen to the truth. Everything I'm telling you right now is the truth, but I guarantee there's a few people that already shut it off because they don't want to hear the truth, man. I'm going to keep coming at you with the truth. I want my country to get back on track, people. Where my country gone? What's happened to the U.S. of A, people? What happened? All I ever see is negativity against the people trying to help. People are negative to me. I don't do anything wrong to people. They say bad things about me, bad words about me. That's okay. That's their loss because I'm awesome. And I'm here to help y'all, man. I'm going to reach out to you with words and wisdom. And I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm going to fight the good fight. And I want everybody out there to fight the good fight, all right? Peace and love, everybody. Keep the faith.